So you want to be a paleontologist, right?
Yeah.
So how do you do that? How do like what's the process?
What, to become a paleontologist or while I'm a paleontologist?
Like to become one? What do you have to do?
So you really in high school you want to do every science you can. So life science, chemistry is good. It's not as good as like rock sciences, geosciences, which are very important, which really
Right.
sucks that we don't have one here.
Yeah.
So I have to do chemistry, which I hate. But after you graduate, you're gonna have to major. You have to choose a science, life science or geoscience. You have to major in it, and then you have to major in paleontology. So I think it's a total of 8 or 11 years of university to get your doctorate in paleontology, which really sucks.
It does suck.
Yeah, it really sucks.
And you're going to Alberta, so
Yeah,
so it's gonna be a lot.
yeah, it's a lot.
It's gonna be
A lot.
jeez.
Yeah.
Um. So you like dinosaurs, right?
No,
As
I
you
don't.
can tell by the shirt. Show them the shirt. Is it gonna be inverted for them?
Uh,
Whatever.
if you can, yeah, just put it on a mirror later. You'll read it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Did you mean to put this on
Not
for
at
today?
all. No, this was just on top.
So yeah, so you've liked dinosaurs since you were like a kid,
Oh
right?
yeah, like the first toy was a dinosaur, and since then it's just been.
Do you like know why that is? Like,
I don't really know why I like that. I think it's just kind of. I was talking to a paleontologist a couple months ago, and he put it really nicely. It's treasure hunting, so like we can basically be Indiana Jones, but also like something from our childhood.
yeah,
Because there's like the mystery of there's something that no one's ever seen before and will never see unless you find it, and you just find it by walking around outside. Like
yeah,
that's
that's so true.
insane to me. Like that's the coolest
Yeah,
thing ever.
yeah, I didn't even think about that. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Uh, have you always wanted to be a paleontologist? Like, has that always been like the goal?
Well, I always liked dinosaurs, but I didn't really know what a paleontologist was till I was like 6.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I realized that I could do dinosaurs for a living, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's it. Before that, it was like classic, like a firefighter,
Right.
astronaut, construction
Yeah.
worker,
Yeah.
the basics.
Yeah.
And
Basics.
it was never a doctor or anything. It was always like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And then for girls, I feel like, well, stereotypically, it's like it's always like a vet, and
yeah,
then
it
and then
was
they turn like 8, and then they're like, oh crap, I have to like,
actually pick one.
yeah.
Yeah, it was my sister. It was, yeah, it was a vet. And then it was a horse phase where she didn't really know what she wanted to be. I think
Mm.
she wanted to have horses. And then I don't know what I think she wants to be an actor now.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I had that face for a bit.
Yeah. I, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Yeah, and then I kind of realized that like actors either make no money or a
Oh,
bunch of money,
so much. Yeah.
and it's either like the 99% is the people that make no money.
There's no in between.
Yeah, yeah. There's literally there's no in between. It's like
See, grade 6 we had to do a careers project. And I'm like, oh, how much does a paleontologist make? And I panicked because I'm like, I'm some shitty scientist that no one knows what they do. I'm gonna make like $20 an hour for the rest of my life and be living off. But it's actually okay. Like if you're shit at it, like really bad. I don't know if I can swear.
yeah, that's
Sixty
fine.
thousand dollars a year is the base level, which is like worse than a teacher, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
livable.
yeah. It's probably livable.
If you're good, it's $110,000 a year. So I was like, oh, just be good at it.
So just what makes a paleontologist bad or good?
I think it mostly has to do with your training, and then I guess your reputation is a big part, because like you get invited to movies of dinosaurs, a consultant
Mm,
or
yeah,
mining companies to help them kind of not get stuck when they accidentally find a fossil, or yeah, when they're building a road, you basically get paid in case they find something.
really.
Yeah, because it's like they have to hire you to be safe, but they don't know if they're actually going to find anything.
So are you still getting paid hourly, or is it like by project, or how does that
I,
work?
well, it depends. If you work at a museum as a curator or a head of a department or a university as a professor, it's going to be an annual salary like a
Right.
teacher would. If you work for a mine, depends on how they hire. If they hire you as a permanent consultant, it'll be an annual salary like anything else. But if it's like we just need a guy for this job, it'll be per project, obviously.
Right. Yeah. So you know the you know how they're trying to make the woolly mammoth? They're like
Yeah.
genetically engineering it.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that?
I know a little bit about it. It's pretty cool. So, because obviously we lived in the pretty much everywhere for a long time, but
Yep.
mainly in the Arctic, so Siberia and the Arctic Circle. So Yukon and Russia are the two best places. So when they died, since the dirt has been frozen since they lived, permafrost,
Yeah.
right? You can still find tissue frozen. So like that
Really?
they found two completely complete baby mammoths. One fell in an ice. Both of them fell in ice. So one's from Siberia, one's from the Yukon.
Crazy.
So like one of them still had his mother's milk in its stomach.
Oh
Like
wow.
so
That's
they're
crazy.
so yeah, they're so close. Like there's like they're like digging and they'll find ice basically and they'll pull out it'll be the end of a mammoth trunk
Right.
and it will look like it was alive yesterday.
Crazy.
Like it's really cool.
Huh.
But when you get to cloning, like I almost feel there's a kind of moral line you have to decide if you're gonna
Yeah.
cross or not.
Yeah, because you're
There.
playing with like God and
Yeah.
stuff.
So like if we were to bring back dinosaurs today, which is probably impossible, but it would be a bad idea because their
Yeah.
environment was so drastically different. We
Yeah,
would
that's
make
true.
their lives so much harder and it
Yeah.
wouldn't be it would purely be for money if you're doing
Yeah.
a dodo, on the other hand, the only reason they're dead is because we introduced dogs and ourselves to the island they
Right.
lived on, and they
Yeah.
just got wiped out because they had no defenses. So bringing it back would actually be righting a past wrong. Maybe they
Right.
aren't very fit because
Yeah.
any predator kills them instantly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. They're like renowned
yeah,
as
the most
Yeah.
defenseless, worst form of life ever. But
They are pretty cute though.
they're pretty cute. So a mammoth is kind of we don't really know how it died. If it died to overhunting from humans, which I feel like is unlikely because there wasn't a lot of us
Yeah.
when they lived,
Yeah, probably not.
we should bring it back if that's why. But if they
Yeah.
died because the ice age ended and the climate changed too much, we shouldn't bring them back because they were unfit for the first part. They couldn't adapt fast enough, so they died. The second part is they wouldn't be able to survive today, and we would be
Right.
bringing things back purely so they can die.
Right.
And that's wrong.
Do you know about the carrier pigeon?
No.
So, back in like I think it was like early 1900s or like 1800s, there was like so many carrier pigeons, at like billions, and they would like flood the whole sky. Like it'd be like basically a cloud of pigeons.
Okay.
Yeah, like literally like billions of them. And then all of a sudden in the 1900s, they all got killed off. Like hunters just like killed them for fun or whatever and stuff like that. So literally they went extinct in the early 1900s. Like just because we killed them off because like there was so many. Like we might as well like there's a giant flock. Might as well shoot at it.
Well, I mean, if you're hungry, yeah,
Yeah.
you can't really miss.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so they're thinking about bringing them back too because I mean we have so many samples.
Yeah.
This is from like 100 years ago.
So like those kind of things is like it's a fine line between a conservation effort trying to save because I mean saving a condor that's like there's four left in the wild. There's a
Right.
lot of work and effort put into it. But
Yeah.
saving something that's already gone is so much harder. But it is still conservation because we
Right.
can.
Yeah. The other thought with the carrier pigeons is like, do we really need them? Like,
Yeah, well, I mean,
they're really useful.
they like now. I mean, like 100 years ago, that was beautiful having
Yeah.
a bird do all the work for you.
Yeah.
But now it's
Exactly.
literally 4 seconds.
Yeah.
You can talk to someone in Tokyo. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's another reason why there was so many is because they got bred, because people needed them so
yeah,
much.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then I mean, imagine the crash when they all died.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, phones are probably
Well,
quickly.
I think it was more just the fact that we had like postal
Well,
service and
yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that. Like, cause the like birds weren't fast
obviously.
and they couldn't like bring actual packages like only letters. So
Like
yeah.
8 pigeons tied to a box flying across the Atlantic Ocean.
So those like random Craigslist items that you get like from
Like a
China.
toaster.
Yeah.
My toaster broke. I had to get one from
We should bring that back.
Yeah. It's the new Amazon.
Yeah. Amazon 2.0
Instead of
from the
drones, we use
past.
carrier pigeons.
Yeah.
More reliable.
Yeah, more reliable. It's just yeah, just more funny. Yeah, so are you still intrigued by like bones and like dinosaurs and stuff? Like
Yeah. Yeah. I was grade 10. I was like, I really don't want to be. I was, because I kind of like hadn't thought about it in a while.
right.
I had to refresh my brain when I thought about it, and it was like, do I really want to do this? But then I went to Drumheller for a Badland Science Camp, paleontology, and it was the single coolest thing I have ever done in my life. Being able to go out there and actually dig stuff up.
The dig stuff?
Yeah, I actually found a fossil that no one had seen in 65 million plus years. And if you think about that, that's something that is like so insane that I actually, there was no one, if I hadn't been there, no one could have stepped over it and it would have
Right.
never been found. But I brushed a little bit of dirt to the left and found a bone. That is so cool. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, no, it's settled.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm not going to second guess myself ever again because that's so cool.
Huh. What did you find?
See, that's the thing. It was the last day, so usually you'd get a counselor to come over and look at
Oh
it.
yeah.
But it was like it's the last day; they can't do anything with it on the last day of the camp.
Right.
And so basically, the guy came over, and about 98% of the fossils you find in Drumheller are hadrosaur. So they're basically the cows of the dinosaur world.
Right.
The only way to tell them apart is the skull, the different species. So
Yeah.
if you don't, it could be a complete, beautifully preserved skeleton ever found, doesn't have a skull, completely useless because we don't know what
Really?
it is. Yeah. So they have hundreds of thousands of cases of dinosaur bones that are hadrosaurs without skulls. They will never be opened. So it was probably a hadrosaur,
Yeah.
knowing that.
Right.
Most
Yeah.
likely, and it wasn't a skull, so it's useless.
Yeah.
It's just a miscellaneous bone.
Right. It's just yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's crazy. So, what did you do on that?
So, well, we got there. It was basically a summer camp for the day. But then we would go inside. We did tours of the museum. We actually got to go in the back and watch them prepare fossils, play, and look at like I think they have 5 record-holding fossils. 2 of them are on display. The other 3 are in the back. We got to see the other 3 like so close to
Like
them.
yeah, like
It
right
was
next to it?
so cool.
That's
And
pretty
then
cool.
we got to see stuff like they had shipped from China, like because they museums will make trades. So like
Right.
we'll give you this Rex if you give us this bird. So like China act like it's so cool because I didn't think China's pretty protective of their fossils. They're pretty
Yeah.
protective of a lot of stuff, but their fossils it's like life sentence if you're trying to steal a fossil from
Oh,
China.
wow.
Yeah, like it's not good. Don't do it.
Yeah.
They sent one of the first fossils that proved dinosaurs had feathers, Microraptor, completely feathered. They sent the actual original slab to Drumheller, and it's there
Wow.
on display. And I'm like, oh, it's just a cast, and it's like original. I'm like, no way, that is. I saw that in real life. I saw that. That is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, that is
Like they have so many crates in the back of like stuff from China, like dinosaurs that I would so love to see, but
yeah.
they're not on display because they don't have enough room for them. So
Oh, really?
it's just like a warehouse
My
of like
gosh.
mysteries and such beautiful things that no one might ever see
Right.
because they won't open. You know, they're
Right.
like
Yeah.
2 stories tall on a shelf in a wooden crate
Yeah.
from China.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, so do people ever like sell dinosaur bones?
There, so
Is there a black market for that?
there actually is. It's really funny. So back in 1800s when paleontology was a thing,
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot of people doing it because it was new, right?
Right.
So then the Bone Wars came along to a very, very, very famous paleontologist who hated each other. They hate each other so much. So they went around, they made up fossils. They glued stuff together.
Oh, really?
They stole fossils from each other. They would find a fossil that they had found like 40 feet to the left and call it a new species.
Huh.
So it was like 40 years of disaster for the paleontologists.
Right.
Like we're still sorting
Yeah.
out the stuff they screwed up.
Dang.
After that, though, so much fame came from that. People started digging up their own fossils and selling it. Back then, it was an even more disaster because it
Right.
was cowboys with dynamite and shovels blowing shit up.
Oh yeah.
And like, yeah, we'll sell this. And it was really bad. Like we lost so much that we
Oh yeah.
like
Like
there's like
preservation and
if you
stuff.
think about it, like they blew up a mountainside, there might have been a fossil. Because like the odds of something dying and being fossilized of 7 billion species on the planet.
Yeah.
Only one of them is fossilized. That's possible. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
someone blew it up. We would never know it existed.
Dang.
So like they kind of ruined it. But then they
Yeah.
realized there's less because museums started selling their fossils because it's a museum. You don't get a lot of money in a museum
Yeah.
if it running. They started selling like a T Rex. Like I think they sold one of the most famous skeletons ever. It's super sad, but I think it was I think it went for like $48 million
Jeez.
for the whole thing. Some anonymous guy bought it.
Yeah.
It's in
Some
it's in his
rich millionaire.
mansion. His mansion somewhere, and it's like, yeah, no one's gonna see it ever again.
So cool.
So they realized the museums were making $48 million, and we were making like 250 off of the same thing because we blew the shit. We blew it
Right.
up, right?
Right.
They started getting good and even better than paleontologists digging stuff out of the ground quickly. Now they're digging stuff up very carefully. Like teams everywhere, there's companies. They
Yeah.
their job they hunt dinosaur fossils and they sell them.
Hmm.
And like, it's pretty cool. I'm more into it for the discovery of them.
Well,
So
yeah.
it's not a career choice for me. Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm. And like they sell for a lot.
depends. Like a T Rex, you find a full T Rex, rich.
Well, yeah.
You're rich.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything else. It's like winning the lottery.
Okay. So that's another question. Like as a paleontologist, if you found a certain like skeleton or whatever, could you just sell it and then retire? Like, is that a thing that you can do?
You would get fired from the museum or wherever you work though if you did.
Right.
So like you have to weigh if depending on the fossil you found, is it enough to live off? And you don't
Right.
really get full custody of the fossil you find as a paleontologist.
Oh,
It
really?
goes to the organization because you usually work in a team of about 20 or so
Right.
people.
Yeah.
So it goes so like sure the head of the team gets the credit for the find, but the head of the team will because it's like the professor and 19 other
Right.
out in the wilderness. So it'll be like my student so and so found this bone, and then their name, the student's name, and the professor tagged to the
Right.
fossil. So then they ship it back, and it gets processed by a whole team of engineers who spend their entire life picking rock off of different rock.
Right.
And like I could never like it's basically surgery with
Yeah.
tools, except the
Yeah,
thing,
that'd be terrifying
yeah,
too.
because you screw it up, you can't go into
Yeah,
space.
imagine working on the T Rex thing. That's
Yeah.
48 million.
Yeah, like and you just barely
accidentally crack the entire bone.
like when I was in Drumheller, they last time I was there like years ago, it's changed so much, right? They had an ankylosaurid and it's been in because they have their preparation wing is actually on display. It's an exhibit. So they have glass
Oh, really?
windows and you can watch the people
That's
do
so
it.
cool.
So it's really so there was this ankylosaur, that armored dinosaur that was been in there for years, like 10 plus years. And it was just one guy sitting in a desk picking stone off of this thing. And they put it on display last year. It's a whole new species and it's named after the engineer who did it because he did it so beautifully. It looks like the dinosaur just fell asleep. Like it's mummified, it's fully preserved. You can get stomach contents.
So cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
So it's Borealopelta. It's Canadian ankylosaur. Mark Mitchell because Mark Mitchell's the guy who spent 10 years in a chair doing
That's
this.
a lot of dedication.
Yeah. And it's like one of the Guinness World Record holding dinosaurs.
Oh,
Most
wow.
beautifully preserved dinosaur. Like and he has his name tagged to that thing forever. Like that's
Yeah,
the
you better be
dream.
proud of that one.
That's the dream. Like yeah, you can die happy and knowing that something will live forever.
Yeah.
It's already lasted 65 million. It'll go on so much longer and your name is with it.
That's crazy. So you talked about the name of the dinosaur.
Yeah.
How do you know like all of the names of all these dinosaurs with all these like crazy scientific names?
So, well, I guess a little bit of passion, and then a little bit, I guess it's kind of what I'm good at is memorizing stuff. Why I find science easy is memorizing
Right, yeah.
terms, right? So I'm really passionate about dinosaurs. That much easier I can read a name, and if I find it interesting enough, it's in there forever.
Right.
Like it'll
Yeah,
like there's
it just stays on
yeah,
there.
there's dinosaurs that I haven't heard about in
Huh.
because like it's there.
Is there a specific dinosaur that has like a really like complex name?
There's a couple. So Micropachycephalosaurus. I don't know if I'm not 100%. I think it's the longest dinosaur name. I don't know its
Oh,
last.
really?
It has a second name too. So Micropachycephalosaurus something
Oh,
something something. So it's
dang.
just so long, and it's one of the smallest dinosaurs ever. So they just basically is funny.
Yeah.
There's a couple other ones. Most of the ones that I find are difficult are because usually you name them Latin. So
Right.
like Triceratops means three-horned face in Latin.
Yeah.
So pretty straightforward. But a lot of them now, because Latin gets boring after a long time, people are naming them in native language of where they found them. So like China has
Oh,
dinosaurs Chinese, which is a lot harder for me to pronounce, but
yeah.
it's like it's unique, which I like.
Yeah.
Right.
That is
So
pretty cool.
recently they found a apex predator before T-Rex in Canada, Carcharodontosaurid shark tooth. So it's not a T-Rex, it's bigger. This one was the apex before T-Rexes came along, and they named it in the indigenous language of the area. So
Oh, wow.
so I think it's like Ciats micorum or something. So it's like it's a short name, but it's really
Yeah.
cool because it has that piece of history tied to it too. Because they actually went to the First Nation who lived there and asked them,
Yeah.
"What would you like to name?"
Yeah,
Because we found it on your land. That's
I like that. They should keep doing that. Yeah. So how do you think you're gonna pay for school? Because it is pretty expensive.
if they get a job.
That's what I was planning on doing too.
But I don't really know because like I'm a teacher's kid, so it's kind of wired in my kids. I find that I'm like a little bit more naturally good at that than like say a construction site lifting things. That's not my forte.
Yeah.
As you can tell, it's not a thick
That's
arm
fine.
here. So, but working with kids, because I work at the museum now, my job, I work with kids, and I find it's really fun because I get to teach them about something I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
They're passionate about it, and I actually like kids. They adore you and teach you about something they love.
Oh yeah.
You are a god in it. It's wonderful.
Yeah. I feel like I can relate to that as a fellow kid. You know. Especially like tour guides.
Uh,
Tour guides were like so
they were
awesome.
And like you go to like a day camp, and the guy, cool, there's
Yeah,
usually
the cool one. Yeah.
there's a counselor who makes you do stuff, and there's the cool counselor, right?
Right.
Counselor, the cool one. You see him at like the store. It's that guy.
Yeah, exactly. You
Everyone
know.
knows you.
You
Like
know.
it's like if you had to teach yoga, it's the yoga guy. All the kids know you're the yoga guy. You're forever the yoga guy in their eyes. They could be 24, and you're like, wait, you were the yoga guy.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna go away from dinosaurs at this point.
Okay. Oh.
Do you have any like personal philosophies that you live by?
Oh, that's a tough question. Let me think. I wasn't prepared for one of those. Um. Well, I feel like I kind of more of like a people don't do this. So it's like if you don't try your hardest at something, plain that didn't go. Like I
Yeah.
feel like you should always, if you want something to happen, put 100% effort into it. Because why else would? What do you expect? You're gonna put like 30% effort into a thing, and then it doesn't come out how you want it, and you're gonna get
Yeah.
mad at
Yeah,
because
it's
it's the thing's fault, not yours, because you didn't try.
yeah.
Like, like
That's not.
so I feel like my philosophy is always try your best if you want. Like, I mean, if it's like you should always try your best, but I feel like you could give some leeway if it's
Yeah.
like you're forced to do something and you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to
Yeah.
try your best, but if you want it, try your best. Do your best.
I also think that if you want something, there's almost nothing that can stop you from getting
You
it.
want it hard enough, and you do.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
there's like you. That's the other thing is any like people are like, oh, he's so naturally talented and of natural, but a guy who's naturally talented, he doesn't do anything, can be surpassed by someone with no talent but lots of hours in this working and improving. Like anyone can do. Like it's corny. Anyone can be, but it's true with enough effort, skill, time, and anyone can be.
Yeah,
Can.
it's the same in chess. Like his like Magnus Carlsen, the world champion, like you
Yeah.
can tell like he definitely has talent.
Yeah.
And like it definitely comes naturally to him. And there's certain qualities in a person that make you like that have like that makes it easier to become good at
Oh
chess.
yeah.
But like there's nothing stopping. Like
No.
anyone
Yeah,
can get
because
good.
like the qualities that some people
Yeah,
takes
exactly.
longer and effort,
Yeah,
but if you want it enough, that shouldn't matter.
yeah, like
Time and effort should
yeah,
want it. And that's just like
yeah. I think that's pretty interesting because like if you think about it, I find this with lots of like YouTubers that do these like crazy things that you would never even like
yeah,
dream of doing.
yeah.
It's like how did you do that? But basically all they did, I mean for them it's easier because they have like a following and stuff like
No,
that.
obviously.
But like yeah, they just like try their hardest, and when things go wrong, they just keep trying,
Yeah.
and like it happens, and the video does good or whatever.
So
Like
I
yeah,
guess the lesson of the day, perseverance, kid. That is important.
for the people at home.
People at home, persevere in everything.
So you played baseball
Oh yeah.
for a few years.
Yeah.
You wanna talk about anything about that, or is
Yeah.
it?
So I don't know why I was drawn to baseball, but I think you think Canada hockey is the big one,
Yeah,
but there's so many Canadian hockey teams. Pick one, suddenly your friend has a different one, and now you're at a war with your. Like, I mean, as a kid, that I can see how that would be a problem. To me, today, if my friend had a different, I'd love that because I would get to
yeah, exactly.
bully them and pick on them and be a douchebag because they like a different team, and I mean that would be so free. But and then like soccer, we don't really have mainstream Canadian
Yeah,
soccer. Like there is soccer, there's
yeah, but I mean the Canadian
but
teams are not that great.
no. And then there's CFL football. I never understood
Yeah,
that. Not even gonna touch that. Golf is really fun because my entire family golfs. So like I was just kind of brought into that.
right.
Basketball, there's the Raptors, the Craptors. They suck. I don't watch that. But baseball, there's one team for the whole country,
Right.
the Blue Jays, and I was like, I don't know if it was like seven. Game. What's this? It's baseball. And when he explained it, I understood it. So then I watched it. I started picking favorite players on the team on the Blue Jays, and I started attention and realizing what they're doing. And it was like the first sport that I actually connected with level of like this is really. So then I asked my parents if I could do baseball, and they got me in. I'm not great at it.
Yeah, I was
Not
gonna say,
gonna
were you any
not
good?
gonna not gonna lie. I think it's just because I'd watched so much baseball that I had
Mm,
huge expectations of myself,
yeah.
and I felt like I was always letting my team down. And then I could picture what because I've watched so much, I could picture what was happening. But then when I pictured that, I pictured the people watching me do it, and then I started getting super stressed out. So like when I was at swinging a baseball bat, I would panic, and
Mm,
like I mean, I'm not gonna say I wasn't horrible. I wasn't the best on the team. There was guys who were way better than me
yeah.
and had power. Because I wasn't a strong kid,
Right.
but if I made contact, I could get a double, two bases. That's doable.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I feel like I had a decent eye, so I could tell if the ball was gonna be in the strike zone or not,
Right.
which is one of the more confusing things in the game.
Yeah.
But I didn't strike out a lot. I walked a lot. I didn't hit a
Mm.
lot. I walked a lot, and then I got hit by pitches. That was the
Oh,
most
really?
common thing for me. I don't know why,
Really?
because I was like the little guy on the team, but I was one of the oldest guys on the team too. But I was also the rookie,
Right.
so I'd come up and I'd just get beamed by, and they couldn't throw it hard. It's a hard baseball, but I mean,
Yeah.
if you know how to take the hit, like if you turn into it, like a beanbag, walk the first. So I mean, it wasn't very much fun for me,
Yeah, that kind of
but
sucks.
I got really good at running. And then they stopped walking me because then I'd get to
Oh,
home
'cause they-
and they'd be like, "Oh no." So then they have to actually so yeah, it worked out. And I was on a couple he moved me around coach cuz like the other players who had seniority wanted to play this position. Like, "Hey, you can't. I don't really care. It's my first year. Just put me where I don't know what I'm good at yet."
Yeah.
So it was like I only ever made one actually good play, and it was like the pop fly straight up and down in the sun, and I actually caught it, and it was insane. Like, I mean, it was like the most routine thing, like any baseball player could have caught it,
Yeah.
but it was like the first one for me, and it was like I was so happy. I was like I couldn't stop smiling for the rest of the game. I got hit by
Yeah.
3 more pitches in that game. Didn't swing the bat once. I was smiled the entire game. I was happy.
It's like there was this one time I was playing tennis baseball, like baseball, except there's like a tennis racket and
Oh yeah.
it's a tennis ball. And I was outfield one time, and I think this was last year, and there was this guy that was like, he was going to college for baseball, and he just like swung it for
Yeah.
fun, and he was like teaching us how to do it, um, like when we first got on, but then he pitched after a while, and yeah, basically he swung it and it went so far, and I was outfield, and I was just running and running and running, and I put my hand out, and there the ball was.
It's like
It was
yeah,
crazy.
it's
I was like, and I threw it. But yeah, it was
yeah,
like,
some of the things if you watch there. So a lot of people who pay attention to baseball is like scary home run and when are who
yeah,
that's what they like. But if you watch the guys who play defense for a living, like they're average batting, but
yeah,
like they're all stars out in the
yeah.
like it's insane. Like they will see the ball come off the bat, look up, and then they'll start running, and they'll look up and the ball's in their hand. Like they
Dang,
could like there was a guy,
triangulate.
yeah, there was a guy back in days when I started watching it. It's Kevin Pillar. He still plays to this day. He's one of my favorite players. Everyone called him Superman. He would dive. The ball could be 7 feet away from him, and he would jump through the air and catch it before it hit the ground. And he
Wow.
put his body on the line every game. And everyone thought he was gonna be done in a year because he'd hurt himself. But he fractured his face diving for. He got hit by a pitch,
Jeez.
broke his nose, and
Yeah.
like his orbital.
Oh
Was
yeah.
out for a year, came back, dove for a ball, broke his hand, was out for a year, came back. He's still playing. No one else, like 2 other guys from his team that year, are still playing the game. No one thought it would be him, but he kept coming back, and
That's
he's still
crazy.
to this like it's insane.
Yeah. Another thing that I think is crazy about baseball is how much money that
No,
these guys get.
the,
Like, insane.
like I mean, I think what's his name, famous soccer player guy got offered like $1 billion, change team because I mean, oh Messi, yeah. Because it's Messi. Everyone, I
Yeah.
don't even watch soccer. I know
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
like
Exactly.
but and then hockey players get paid. There's like different positions. Football players get paid a lot, but baseball players, they are so snooty. Like that's the thing I have against them is they want so much money, like so much
Oh
more
yeah.
money than everyone else. They go on
Yeah.
strikes when they don't get what they want, right? But they only do their job 33% of the time. Like that's I've
Yeah.
said
You were
this,
talking
but
about
I
this
said
already.
this
Yeah.
before. If you because the average baseball player is a good average, hit the ball 33% of the time. Like, I mean, think about it. There's a lot of factors, so it's not
Yeah.
hitting the ball. If you get 3 pitches every thing, you hit 33% of the time, you're gonna hit it every at bat.
Right.
But still, only hitting 33% of the time, you do your job 33% of the time. You get paid basically a Ferrari every month.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like it's insane.
Like, yeah. Yeah. I love the fact that they go on strike
Yeah,
because they
it's
say
not
that they're
enough.
not getting paid enough.
It's not enough. Oh no. Like,
Well,
you,
the women for every sports team is
yeah,
like
like they're like
getting paid a
yeah,
fraction.
yeah, like it's like pathetic what they get paid. Like it's so embarrassing that people. And then this guy, they signed a guy. He's one of Blue Jays. He is start of the year. He was one of the players in the league. Paid him $9 million to play for them for 1 year.
Holy cow!
Yeah, so if I make $110,000, just like
Yeah, it's gonna take
like
another
90
100 years.
times
Yeah,
what I would make, and he did it in 1 year.
and like also, uh, so if you think about it, I think it's like, I'm pretty sure like it's like 95% of the populate, or like 95. Then the like five, they make like 100,000 or more. So within 5% of everyone on Earth, it's either 100,000 to like you know,
Million. Like
no
in,
billions, like
well, I
200
mean, like,
billion.
I want to see Elon Musk's personal annual income.
Yeah,
Like the fact that you could build your own rocket ship is insane.
yeah,
You're a 7-year boy. I want to go to the moon. I have to work hard for that money. Elon Musk's like,
yeah. Really?
really?
I wish that Elon Musk would just like waste away like 10 billion just to see how much you could do.
How much he could throw, how much money he could throw at a good cause,
Yeah,
how much change he would make, and then the fact that he'd still be one of the richest
yeah,
men on the
exactly,
planet.
exactly.
It's like,
Because
oh,
I think that he's more than like 150% more rich than any other person on the planet.
yeah,
Like like that number is astronomical.
yeah, like
Like,
that's like,
hundreds of billions.
the greed of some people though. That like I have this much money and I will not spend it on anything other than myself. And even
Yeah.
then, they don't even like you have that much money. There's no way you could spend that much money in a lifetime on yourself. There's so few things you could buy for that much money. Like you could probably buy the Mona Lisa and you'd still be
Well,
rich.
I think that the Mona Lisa is like 400 million, something like that.
Yeah, that's like what?
But they won't actually
That's
sell
like
it.
10 years of Elon Musk, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe,
Maybe.
maybe. Like that's he could do.
Yeah,
He
no.
could have already bought it. They could have put a replica up, and no one. They would have said no one
Yeah.
would know.
Yeah. What I'm kind of scared of is the fact that like America has so much money and yet they're like all their money is like decreasing in value. And so like basically all of us are losing money
Yeah, because
like every
their
second.
country is whipping it
Yeah.
consistently.
Yeah, and there's this thing about um the tax law or whatever, like how much America can spend and like the debt, that's what it's called, the debt ceiling.
Yeah, the debt.
Um and like every year it just gets pushed up and up because it wants to spend more money.
Yeah, and like it's like people pay out their nose because they got unlucky, they had a heart attack, and they're like now they're poor, and they have to live off loans because they had a heart attack. And then there's like the uber rich Americas,
Right.
like the head of Amazon, I can't, who's just sitting there making money doing nothing with a massive hyper yacht.
Yeah. Have like the Giga yacht.
Yeah, like if he broke his ankle and had to go to the hospital, do you think they'd even bill him?
Probably not.
They'd see his face and be like, the fact that you're here is like whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Let me get a picture. That'll be your
yeah,
payment.
yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah. I also think, like with him especially, I feel like, or like, like the uber rich, I feel like they just pay extra just for fun.
well, yeah, that's like I think saw someone like the head of Amazon got a girlfriend,
Oh, well,
unsurprisingly,
yeah, yeah.
but he bought a yacht. When they got together, one of the biggest yachts in the world, and then bought a figurehead modeled by one of the greatest sculptors in the world after his new girlfriend, and put it on the yacht. And the yacht is so the yacht is so big. Okay, this is insane. The yacht is so big, it has to have another yacht follow it for the people who work on the big yacht.
Like,
Yeah, yeah. It's
what?
got a mini yacht that follow, and the mini yacht is still a yacht. Like, that's there's a helicopter that flies from the mini yacht to the big yacht to transport people. It's
This is-
insane. I think he's got like a driving range on his mega yacht. I don't.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, like it's a bowling alley,
Yeah.
a football stadium,
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah.
personal soccer coach. Just phones him up. The helicopter goes gets him
I'm just waiting for the day when it's like literally a city on
on
a
the
boat.
on the boat.
I think there is one. It's like the number one like biggest yacht. It's like basically a city. Like it can
Yeah,
hold like over
yeah.
30,000 people. Like it's literally a city.
Some of
It's
the
like stores and stuff like that.
some of the some of the insanely.
Yeah.
Honestly, if like I feel like yeah, global warming, world floods. Well, that's terrible.
Yeah.
But we have the technology that if worst came to worst, we could live on boats. We could live on
Maybe.
boats.
Well,
We could
actually,
grow food on boats.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
We'd be fine, and we could eat fish. I wouldn't enjoy it. I hate seafood, but a
I
lot of
think
people would die. But
yeah. Especially like, colonies and stuff like that. I feel like the main problem with the global warming thing is like even if say the world floods, right? Also in the next like 10 years after, 2 years after, then like it's everything's gonna like
yeah, and then it's gonna. Well, I mean, yeah, all the have on land that we're keeping out of the ocean
yeah,
is gonna
exactly.
suddenly be in the
Yeah,
ocean.
all the chemical like
Yeah,
plants and stuff. Yeah,
Chernobyl
nuclear
is gonna be
plants.
underwater.
Exactly, yeah.
That's gonna be a no-go zone half the planet.
Yeah.
All right, like that's.
Yeah, it's like there's like, the Bermuda Triangle and there's
I
like
don't know
all
if
these other
I don't know
areas.
if scientists have thought of that and came up with like consent to that, but like, what if Chernobyl flooded and it washed water across all of Europe that was like hyper radiated? Like, what is that? Just the end? Like, does that chunk of the world just die? Do they grow a third arm? What happens?
Yeah, yeah, exactly what happens. I was talking to this girl's dad that I met. What's his name? Buck. I don't. I forget his first name. He's a teacher.
Oh yeah.
Um, he was saying how I don't remember where it was, but basically they made a bunch of new nuclear power plants, and he went to one of them. Like he just went to the city where it was, and he was fishing in this river, um, that was like right beside it, and basically they said like the people there said that like all the water that's running through this river like it's completely clean like whatever like this is just like the offshoot of like water that we
Yeah.
are using at the facility like it's not
Yeah. It's not.
it's not chemicals at all, right? And so he was fishing at this river, and I think he might have like lived there for a few. I'm not sure, but basically what he was saying is there was like so many fish there, and and he caught a few, and I think the ones that he caught were like they were fine, they're pretty nice size, whatever. But he was saying that um like he saw some people that caught fish that had like giant bulbous things on their
Oh yeah.
heads and like extra fins and things and like weird colors and stuff like that. And it's like, should we really like be eating these
Yeah.
fish?
Like
Yeah.
what?
Like, should we really be fishing here? Or
Yeah.
like maybe we should
I
like
feel like we should
cut
burn
this
these
off at some
fishing
point.
rods.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
put them in a shed behind our house.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, exactly. Is this really, you know,
World. Like, is
yeah.
this what has come to?
And like that river is just going right into the ocean,
Yeah.
eventually. Right. So,
And it's like
yeah.
people are like, oh yeah. Well, I mean, like I don't really have. I have more problems with coal
Oh,
energy
yeah.
than I do with nuclear energy.
Yeah. Fair.
Because like nuclear energy, yeah, it's very good. It's very clean. Everything's great about it till it goes wrong,
Yeah, exactly.
and then
Except for the nuclear part.
then run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think kind of sad that it's like the only thing that we have that's renewable, especially for like cost. It's very cost efficient.
It's very cost efficient.
Um, but another thing that sucks is like fossil fuel. Um, as a bone person, is there anything that the problem with fossil fuels in like the dinosaur community?
Well, most of the so coal is plant matter. So fossils are animals. Coal is mostly plant matter, but that's why in coal mines you find dinosaur bones
Right.
because they're area.
Yeah.
So, and then oil is fossils. It's a living thing that got super other way. It's a different form of fossilization. And then there's the third one, third fossil fuel. I can't think of it right now. Natural gas, which is
Oh yeah.
different, but kind of different. Not that different, but coal. It's not like because some things you find are really cool. It'll be like a rock and it'll have a coal fern etched into it,
Oh
leaf,
really?
and it'll be really cool to look at. But
Yeah.
most of the coal is just a clump of
Yeah, like black stuff.
black stuff. You can't tell what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, burning it obviously isn't a good thing, but I mean, back starting to create electricity. It worked, so I mean, can't complain there.
Yeah. Yeah, a big problem right now is like we really like trying to change the world into, a renewable
Yeah,
energy. Like the main problem with that is like it costs so.
got so much. And coal, I mean, technically, if we made, if we what we spent last couple on coal,
Yeah.
so if we spend the next couple thousand on renewable, next couple million on renewable, there'll be coal that will turn to coal.
Yeah, exactly.
So there'll be more coal,
Yeah.
but renewable energy is the thing is 50 years from now, if we stop every coal mine, every coal factory, power plant, everything out there that ran off of coal to create energy, shut down today and turned to renewable with water, hydro, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
50 years from now, we'd be in the same boat with batteries because they have to
Yeah.
have batteries, and then we'd be running out of lithium
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
batteries, and then there'd be landfills full of batteries, which is not a good thing to think of because battery acid and you don't want it. That's a whole nother no go zone. That's like, yeah,
Yeah, I did a project on like uh, solar panels and stuff like
yeah,
that. And basically, it's really good except for your yeah, basically it's cheap. It works amazing except for there's a bunch of side effects to it. Like a bunch of stuff gets radiated off of it
yeah,
like it emits that stuff and like yeah. So like it's a great source except for all these other things that we're gonna have to worry about
yeah,
in the next future, in the
yeah.
near future. Yeah.
They made a new solar panel. It's a new material. It's like mineral found in the
Oh,
they
okay.
didn't know what to do with it. They figured out, oh, it absorbs sunlight. So they actually, instead of like making the what we use now, the panels, and mix it into a paint it,
Oh,
and it
really?
absorbs sunlight and creates electricity.
Holy cow.
So it's like you could paint it on your roof, and it's cheaper per square foot,
Yeah.
but you also have to reapply it eventually. So like it'll cost more in the long run, but to apply, it would be technically than building a
That's
whole solar
interesting.
panel. And then, I mean, the future, I'm hoping, is fusion reactors
Yeah.
because that's really cool. Because I mean, what is more powerful? A
Yeah.
star.
In the sun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the most like that's energy that lasts for billions of years.
Yeah.
Like constant renewable. Like so, if we create a fusion reactor that can replicate that even on a scale, we're
Yeah.
set. Like that's clean. It's
Yeah.
like the side effects are atmospheres protect from it.
Yeah.
We create like I think the fusion reactor with magnets around it keeps everything contained, and we just get the energy. They make that work. That's everything solved. Like it's not
Yeah.
cheap.
Exactly.
It's not cheap,
No, that's true.
but but you get like for every nuclear reactor, tear down, build a fusion reactor, and you can power so much more
Yeah.
with the one thing. Suddenly it's not a problem anymore.
Yeah, and I feel like it's also for like so much longer. Like
Yeah.
obviously building it itself is like a lot of money.
Hmm.
But like once it's built, it can like run for a long
But
time.
then you have because like your nuclear reactors, you're splitting atoms, creating radioactivity, gamma rays, that whole
Yeah.
thing that no one wants to touch, right?
Yeah.
With fusion, you're putting them together, which like two hydrogen atoms.
Yeah.
That's cool of the chemistry part of it, but the heat, like that's what they need the magnets for. Is just the heat, the UV and everything, just
Right.
contain basically make a sun.
Yeah.
So what if like the nuclear reactors, you have to keep the reactor cool so it doesn't explode and end civilization? You know it. What if the magnets fail on a reactor? Do we create a solar flare on the planet's surface? And does that just raise like a 100-kilometer area to the ground? Just nothing?
Yeah,
Like
that
the excessive amount of heat that will just explode forth if the magnet fails? Like it's like
I
it's
didn't
like
even
it's
think
like a
about that.
nuclear reactor but worse. Like it's like beautiful, until it goes wrong.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to have that in your backyard because you're not going to have a backyard in about
Yeah,
5 minutes.
exactly. Yeah. Uh, one thing I think that might uh like that we might be able to solve like from that is once we become like uh whatever it's called, like multiplanetary. Um, we go to like Mars and stuff. Basically, what we could do is go to one of the like colder planets and just build a bunch there. Uh, basically, just say fuck all to the people that work there. But make a bunch of energy for everyone else.
Yeah, send that back.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, thanks.
But Barrett, the space nerd, you tell me this: Mars' atmosphere is made up primarily of methane and carbon.
Yeah.
So we could it's like the most perfect thing for building a base
Yeah. I think.
besides having an atmosphere with oxygen in it that we don't even have
Yeah.
to build a base. Because you build a dome, you put plants in it, they breathe in the carbon, create oxygen inside the dome,
Yeah.
and then use the methane to make rocket fuel.
Yeah. I think Elon Musk was talking about that.
Yeah, like that's like a gift. That's gift wrapped for us.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. No,
that's
literally.
close to a actual atmosphere as we're gonna get.
Yeah, so Elon Musk was so basically they figured that out, and so now SpaceX is only making methane-based rockets because that's the plan is to
Get there and then go anywhere.
yeah,
There's no atmosphere. You
and
don't have to.
also the literal the stuff on Mars just makes the fuel for the rockets. So
Yeah,
it's like
like it's not like, oh, we have to mine it, have to like
no, yeah,
process
it's
it.
literally
It's literally you
in
park
the
it and
air.
it inhales for a couple minutes and you're set. Like, let's go.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Okay, we're good. We got gas. Let's go.
It's like one of those, like the iron lungs. Have you seen those? It's like that, but it's just in the spaceship. It's like converting the carbon to oxygen. Okay, so what is or will be your gift to the world? What are you bringing to Earth? What are you?
Well, I mean,
What's your point?
like I said, some people do paleontology and that's profit. I hope that if I am a paleontologist, which I certainly want to, that I can bring the same kind of wonder I had as kids. Right? I can maybe not find something cool, but I can build a museum, or I can work at a museum like that. Kids from across the country come to one place with all one common interest and just be thrilled for an hour and a half. Like if I can just make someone's day that much better, I think that's enough. I could die happy knowing that's really like if I had to. I mean, obviously, I want to find a really cool giant dinosaur that I want to see.
Well, yeah,
That was
yeah.
like huge and like a giant. Like, but I mean, I want to get really peachy about it. Yeah, that's people are gonna like be like, yeah, he's a good guy if I say that one. So we're going to go with that one.
All right.
Final answer.
My other question, last question. That's it's a request at a question.
No.
From one of my dear friends. Basically, the question is, it's it might be a little complicated, but who is your best friend?
Oh, you bastard. Okay, so I mean, I used to say Soup Logan, but I think I've gotten to the he's more like a brother to me than a friend.
Okay, okay.
Cause like I mean, friends you can lose touch with your friends. I feel like till the day one of us is gonna be at the other person's funeral. Like that's a reality. I know that's gonna be true. Like
Yeah.
we're so I gotta say my best friend. Yeah, I'm sitting here with you, so it's like I don't want to be like, oh,
No,
it's
no, no.
Barrett. Fuck you. But I mean, it's how I define best friends. Okay, not Barrett. Sorry, Barrett. It's not you.
Aw.
It's not you. James is like he's a G. He's the kind of guy that you can just like yeah he's that guy. He's he's
Right.
the guy.
He's James.
And then like you're more like a friend. James is more like a James.
Yeah.
And then Logan, I've known for the longest out of the. Actually, I've known you for longer.
Yeah.
I, I don't know. It's a tie between you and Logan Kershaw.
Really?
It's a tie.
Really?
Yeah,
Dang.
it's a tie.
Your best friend.
Best friend. And then James is like, he's gonna get all salty and be like, "I'm not your best friend." I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, you're not." Okay.
I mean, if you watch till the very end of the
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah, the very last couple of seconds. James is James. Final answer.
Yeah, this is like the section for the 1 percentile of the 1 percentile that actually watches it.
The one group that's actually gonna care. I'm probably not even gonna ever see this.
Of the one group that's gonna care, that's the 1 percentile.
Yeah. Yeah. And Barrett's probably crying.
Yeah, exactly. You did
Not
say
even in the race.
you did say that that he was gonna watch the whole thing. So
Just turn it off 5 minutes before the end.
yeah. Well, it's been a blast having you on the podcast.
Thanks for having me, man.
Hope I can have you on again.
Down. I would be down to be on again.
Do you like the setup?
It's
I mean, it is.
it's homely. Yeah, I saw you put me in at the bottom, and yet somehow I'm first.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's because you're like the person that I can
I'm the
talk to and,
bar. I'm the
Yeah.
bar, and then everyone else is like, "Yeah, okay, watch this. This is shit. You can do
Yes,
better than
exactly.
this." Yeah. You talked about dinosaurs the whole time. Like literally anything interesting, you win.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I guess I'll just turn this off now. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you in a bit.